Alright guys, the Punisher Max 17 here again, and this is what should be the second part of my work in progress for this Zoids Dark Spiner, one of the older Hasbro American re-release kits. And as you can see, I've got all the parts primed. I've got the inner frame airbrushed black, most all of it at least, and I have got it hand painted with the smaller details. Here's a little example, the head pieces. But that's not what this part's really about. It's about a little airbrushing tutorial. So I have some primed pieces right here, and I'll be airbrushing them a darker blue, and then I'll be going over it with a sky blue. So I'll get my airbrush out, get everything ready, and I'll get on to that. Okay, so here we are with the airbrushing step of the process. This is a smaller piece for it, just like a little kneecap kind of thing. And what I do is I outline the part with the darker color that I'm going to shade first, along the corners, seam lines, which this part doesn't have any of, but along the corners for this one. So let's try to get this in frame here. And I don't know what most airbrushing people keep their PSI at, but I usually use right around 20. And I've found that it works well. I'm not 100% sure what the difference is in using different PSIs, but it's kind of where you just find something that you're comfortable with, and this is right around where I usually use it. So here you just barely pull the trigger on it, go right on the corner edges, and this piece you can't see it real well because the piece is white, but it has two corner edges right here. It has that corner edge right there, and then a little tiny flat space, and then another corner. You can see it right there, I think. Has this little edge. So we got that. One down here. Right up there. Okay, so as you can see, we left the main part of that white primered. We just went along the edges. That's mostly white. You can see it's dark around the corners, but because it's a smaller area, then it's hard to leave it actually completely white. And you can see where that's a lot lighter there in the center. And we'll be going over those areas with the lighter blue, the sky blue color, here in a minute. I also have a bigger part here. This is the upper thigh part of the leg, I guess. It also just has the corners to go over, and these little seam lines here, which seam lines you want to get it real dark on those, like so, just so that whenever you go over it with the lighter color, the seam lines are still darker. And you can still do panel lining and stuff, or not seam lines, I'm sorry, I should have been calling it panel lines this whole time. But panel lines. But that way the panel lines are darker, and whenever you do the lighter color, then it still adds that little bit of contrast in there. Something else, whenever you have like very short edges to these parts, or sides I guess, like that, you can see it's only that length. I usually go over all of that with the darker color, and then just kind of blend it with the lighter one, which you'll see here in the next part of the video. I'll go ahead and finish off this piece. Got to get my compressor back up to the PSI that it needs to be at. That's just something you should watch for, because using different PSIs will change the amount of paint flow through the airbrush. And to be honest, my airbrushing isn't as good as it usually is in this tutorial, just because I'm at a pretty awkward angle trying to do this with the camera, because of the fact I don't have a tripod, so the camera is literally just sitting right in front of me. But I figure you guys get the general idea of what I'm doing here. And like I said, I like to go over these very short sides with the dark color, and I'll just blend it in later and it'll make it look just fine. By the way, these little alligator clips is what I'm using to hold the pieces onto the pegs on the inside, attached to like I don't know, like the little bamboo shish kebab sticks you can get at like a Walmart or something. You get like 200 of them for a couple bucks, and the alligator clips, I think you can get those at Walmart, but you can also get them at any kind of hardware store or something, and they're like $1 for 5 of them or something, I think. So it's not too bad of a price. They make things a whole lot easier, so it's definitely worth any money that you put into them. Okay, so I think we got all the blues done for this part. Got a little excessive right there, but that's really no problem. Just blend that in. And as you can see, got those open areas that will touch up with the sky blue. Got all the other corner kind of areas like this. Got a little excessive right there too. Got a little more than I needed, but like I said, that's okay. So I'll get a little more of this done, and I'll come back with you guys and show you the sky blue portion of this where I finish off the shading. Alright guys, we're back here with the second part of this airbrushing shading tutorial, and I already have the dark blue on here as you saw before, and right here I have the sky blue that I'll be using, Tamiya Sky Blue, and I'll just be filling in the open areas of this and then blending it all together. And sorry my fingers are kind of blue as well, but I've been doing the airbrushing on some other stuff, and you know, any of you airbrushers know you kind of get that all over the place sometimes. So I'll start on this. Let me make sure I'm in frame. Alright. So you just fill in the open areas here. Back to filling in this stuff. Okay, so now we've got most of the basic white areas filled in here. So now that's all done, we just blend it all together, which you kind of just take the airbrush a little farther back than you usually do, set it on kind of a light to medium kind of spray, and you just go over the entire part and blend the darker colors with your lighter colors together. And there you go. You have your finished part blended together, and you can always blend it a little bit more if needs be. There might be a few areas on this one I need to go over a little bit more, but you get the general idea of what I'm trying to do. Like I said, it's not perfect because this is a pretty awkward angle that I'm doing the airbrushing at for the video, so yeah, it's not that great, but I have some other pieces here that I'll show you that I've already got finished. Right here's all my other pieces. Here's one of the main body pieces that I did. I don't know how well you can see it. Yeah, the camera's not focusing real well. Yeah, you can see a little bit of the shading there, but I don't think the light is real well in here in the room, so you can't see that a whole lot. But I've got all these other pieces finished. Just got a couple more left to go. And you guys get the general idea of what I'm trying to do here. So I guess that'll be all for this second part of the work in progress. And thanks for watching, guys.